Hi, it's Larry Herb, Xbox Live's Major Nelson. Welcome to the show, the Xbox Podcast, where most weeks, I won't say each week, most weeks, Jeff and I bring you the news and some interviews.
Sometimes we do a show and it doesn't actually end up running. And I would like to say that's a rare occurrence, but...
I'm very excited because I've had some audio issues with this microphone and what we call in the business my audio chain. And I have worked with an audio engineer, and we have fixed it so that our levels should be matched. This beautiful Shure SM7B mic, which is a broadcast quality mic, goes into all this stuff. And anyway, long story short, we shouldn't have any problems anymore, Jeff.
Never had a problem with my beautiful Elgato microphone. It's always done me well.
The Wave.
The Wave 3.
The Wave 3. Anyway, it's good to see you. This is actually our first show in February. We didn't do one last week. First show in February, which is we got a couple of great interviews. We always have great interviews for you, but we got a couple of great interviews for this one about inclusive gaming at Xbox, Black History Month, and then someone's coming after your gig, Mr. Jeffrey Roops.
The co-host that's relegating me to occasional guest star, who has my initials, or do I have his initials?
Who knows? Or are they actually the same person?
This is again, have not shaved in weeks, and you will see this is the second best beard on the show.
Is that the extent? Can it get any longer?
That's it.
We're talking about Jason Ronald, of course. He'll be along later on. Have you ever gotten it long like Jason?
No. Although it's funny, we don't see people as at all these days. Right. But we're trying to, in the beginning of the year here, trying to make a push for if you haven't turned your camera on in one of these Teams chats or Zoom chats, turn on the camera so we can see you, because it's been too long and people are in varying states of new looks. We'll just put it that way. People going through long hair looks, people who are just trying new things, and someone on our team we've worked with for a long time. I'll just call him out. Thierry Nguyen. He was a longtime writer. We call him Scooter in the biz, and he has the full on. He looks exactly like he should be in Kill Bill, stroking his beard. It's just unbelievable.
I have to show you this. I did a Teams chat with somebody, or a Zoom chat. We call it Teams because it is, but you guys know what it is, a video chat. We did one, and I have to show you. Let me just pull it up. Give me a moment, okay, Jeff, because I joined it, and I actually stepped back because I was like, what is going on here? It was probably the strangest video chat I've ever done, and with the background, you won't see the individual because they stepped out of the frame.
Okay.
And this was it. So let me pull it in here. You ready?
Ready.
Okay, here we go. This was it.
Okay, on Rio de Janeiro, is that the
it's the Catholic Virgin Mary in the background, and I was like, did I just dial into it?
But wait, hold on. There's appears to be a bow in the back, like a long bow of some sort.
Yeah. There's so much going on in this photo, and I don't want to out the person.
It's got the AM radio in the back.
It's like I was like, I need to know everything. This is like his bizarre picture, and I need to know what the candles. You see the candles in the back there.
Bonus points for symmetry.
Right. So anyway,
I appreciate the dual shelves. All right. Well, one last. Since we're talking about video chats, there was a great. I wouldn't call it a meme, but something that was going around this week. Did you see there was so court cases? A lot of them are happening via
Zoom, Teams, right?
Yeah, video chat,
Skype, whatever.
And apparently, in one court case where it was a judge and two lawyers talking, one of the lawyers apparently they had turned on a filter where they were a cat talking, and they couldn't turn it off. And it sounded like maybe not a young gentleman, and he's like, "I'm not a cat, sir."
I've got to fuck.
It's too good. And they were like, "We just like to proceed with the defendant's case, being counsel being a cat." I'll send this to you after.
Now,
so we just lost.
Was he defending? Was he defending? Was it?
I think it was early on in the call, so I couldn't. No opening arguments had been made. This might have been. It might have been just a normal meeting.
So it wasn't a judicial case around who got up on the counter and got into the tuna fish. It was.
No, otherwise This will be an open and shut case, Larry.
All right. Oh boy.
What's this show about again?
I forget. Video games. Hey, speaking of video games, we're playing a lot. I've got Hitman. I've got Carto. Thank you very much for Carto.
So tell us what you thought. Tell us what you like. I mentioned that I feel like a month ago.
Yeah, and I finally got around. It's just, if you get a chance, it's in Game Pass, and you can kind of see it's called Carto, Carto, and you can kind of see it right here. And it's this beautiful game, and essentially Jeff described it originally, but I'll try to regurgitate what he said. And it was essentially get pieces of maps and you can rotate them, and then you as you zoom out in map mode, and then you zoom down, you can walk over the maps and walk in your. So it's a fun, cute game. So I recommend it if you want to, if you like map games. It's just fun, cute, and it's very low stress.
Just imagine, instead of driving to work, you opened up maps on your phone and you scrolled over to work, and then you put your phone down and you were at work. It's kind of like that.
Assuming we were going to work. So yeah, I'm playing Carto, the medium. I have not finished the medium yet. I feel bad.
I did.
I know you have. So let's.
Yeah, it was a great game. All right, how many hours are you? Or I'm going to say something. It's not really a spoiler on its own. Have you sat down on the wheelchair yet?
I've been waiting for that moment, because you texted me and you gave me a heads up that it kind of things accelerate from there.
Things they start to accelerate at that point, and I feel like you kind of see and experience a couple of different gameplay elements, and there's certain things that happen leading up to that point. It's almost like a little bit of a sampler meal leading up to that point. Once you get to that point, things really pick up the pace. They get more intense. The story starts to, motivations for characters start to make sense. And it's really good. I really enjoyed it. I will admit, I tend to be afraid of horror games.
No.
This is not a straight up horror game. Like, I to give you my litmus test. Last year, I played through Resident Evil 2 Remake, and then immediately, as soon as it came out, Resident Evil 3 Remake, and I really enjoyed them. I was scared at times, like, for sure, especially when unexpectedly Nemesis would come out through a wall or anything. A lot of jump scares in those games. This, very little in the way of jump scares. I think I counted 2. But much more of like an oppressive feeling. Dread. There was sort of
foreboding.
Foreboding, just very unsettling. Like, you just want to leave this place, as opposed to like there's something coming at you and you have 4 bullets left in your handgun and you've got to make them. There's not really combat in this game as such. So, my point being, if you're okay with like disconcerting things, but you don't want like things jumping out at you all the time, this may be the game for you. I really enjoyed it. On
Game Pass, download it now.
Yeah, on Xbox Series S and X, and also for PC. They do some really cool stuff with the tech and with how quickly things stream in and multiple worlds and things like that. So,
go back a couple weeks. Go back a couple weeks, and Jeff did a great interview with Bloober Team about that. So that's So
they invited us for a beer after right before the call. So I don't know the next time we'll be together. Like,
much less in Poland.
Well, I mean, theoretically, if there's a GDC next year or something like that, there's a reasonable chance that we would be in the same place. And I would love to get a beer with the Bloober Team.
Those guys look like fun. They are. They're great. So thank you for everybody that's been helping that team out and downloading and playing the medium on Game Pass. So that's think about that. So
something else I heard you were checking out.
Go
Yakuza.
On. Yes, and I don't have it up here in my most recently used, because I've been checking out some other titles.
You bounce around.
I bounce around, and yeah, I mean it's. I will say this is that you and I are very clear about this. You and I have been on team meetings, internally, and you're like, people are like, oh, I played Yakuza, it's great. And I'm like, thank Jeff, you were on the Yakuza boat way early. So I'm enjoying it. I just need to. I feel like. It's actually frightening me because there's so many other games in Game Pass that you can play, and I'm like, I'm never going to finish this.
Well, here's what I've been doing. So since the last time we spoke, Yakuza 3, 4, and 5 came out. I blew through Yakuza 3.
Right.
Like, done. Beat it. I played nothing else during that time. And instead of just jumping immediately into 4, I was like, I don't want to say palate cleanse, but let me try something else. Because again, there's so many games on Game Pass. Let me try something new. And so that game that I jumped into was Haven. Did I tell you
Oh,
about this one, Larry?
So let me tell you something. I saw you playing it, and I had to go see what this was all about. And then I actually filed a bug because you used to be able to see what someone was playing, go right to the store. You have to go like 5 clicks down to find it. So I go to the store, and I was like, it's like this beautiful looking JRPG kind of game.
It's
Am I right?
If yeah, I would say so it's made, I believe, in France. There's some French. So it's not JRPG, but there's elements. It looks like if Daft Punk made a game. In fact, the soundtrack is phenomenal, and there's a couple tracks that sound like they came right off of like Daft Punk's Discovery. By the way, no Daft Punk in the Super Bowl halftime show. I would have liked to have seen.
Noted. NFL, you're on notice.
Well, I mean, The Weeknd has 2 songs with Daft Punk. I'm sure they couldn't get here.
Right.
But man, I was excited. Anyway, so if they made a game, they executive produced a game,
right,
and had the cel shaded look of Gravity Rush, which was a really cool like Vita game that came out long enough ago that I was working there. So really interesting game with some like you're controlling. There's just basically this couple who is on this strange planet, and you do explore, and you have this cool mechanic where you're just sort of like rocket booting around. And it's just like it's just lovely, and the songs are good,
nice,
and there's interesting like very mature conversations about like relationships. But then there's combat where you're basically the D-pad controls one character, and your ABXY control the moves of another character, and you can like be blocking with one.
That's not too difficult to get my head around.
At first, it brings you along slowly. It is not. In fact, the game even tells you. It says play on normal. This isn't a very hard game. You can always jack up or down the difficulty if you want to.
Yes,
it's more about experiencing the story.
Right.
And there's also a 100 gamer score achievement if you can beat the game without ever getting completely wiped out, and I'm aiming for that. If I don't die, I will just like yank the plug out of the wall. I'm sure that's not a problem. So look, we've all done it.
Yeah,
we have all done it.
Okay.
So anyway, Haven, I would have wagered I'm about 3/4 of the way through it. It's just really interesting, and it's on Xbox Game Pass. Give it a shot if you're looking for something new to play. If you like RPGs,
if you do,
if you like, but relationship games, narrative games, but with actual action, and it's just beautiful, and it sounds phenomenal. If any of those things sort of made you like look up, it's worth the download.
Or look down.
There's no commitment. Just try it. If you don't like it, if it doesn't grab you in the first 30 minutes,
move on.
Something else on Game Pass. Yeah, exactly.
there's plenty to play.
I think if you play it, you will want to see it through. That's my prediction.
We've got, we should do? We should probably take a break here because we've got the 2 interviews that I want to roll. If you're all right, we can do some news on the other side of that. Do you have time to hang around?
That would be great. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So do you want to set those up for me, or how do you want to do it?
Well, yeah. So it's February, and it's our first show of February, and it's Black History Month. And we're actually planning a number of things here, and some of those things are really all already ongoing here, including on our Xbox Twitch channel and on other sort of aspects of things that you might be seeing from Xbox. We've got a full story on Xbox Wire. But the team who put this all together from Blacks at Xbox have joined us to talk more about what we've got going on in celebration of Black History Month.
Really excited to be joined by the co-leads for Gaming for Everyone here at Microsoft. I have Q Muhammad and James Lewis. Welcome to the show, gang.
Thanks for having me.
Really excited to talk to you guys this month. James, I want to talk to you. You're both co-leads. What does that mean to be co-leads with Gaming for Everyone? Because Gaming for Everyone is this outbound thing that people may hear for Xbox, but it actually is a strong internal movement at Microsoft as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. So Gaming for Everyone is really awesome just because it really does figure out how can we welcome as many people to gaming as possible. For Q and I being co-leads for specifically the Black community within Gaming for Everyone, it's been amazing. Just to, for us, this community has been active for about 5 years, and when we first connected, it was like, how can we share tips on surviving in the Pacific Northwest? Because many of us came from other parts of the country and the world. And so for us to come to Pacific Northwest, and we're like, well, simple things like where do we go to find our favorite foods? And for me, it's like, where can I find Southern food, or where can I get my hair cut? And so we connected on these types of things. And then we also realized that we actually are creating a safe space for one another.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of us, and 90% of the work we're doing, we have this sense of we're trying to fit in. We're trying to, maybe there's a degree of imposter syndrome or even maybe even code switching. And so for us to have this group where we can come together essentially and kind of let our our hair lay down or be our authentic selves, it just created a really, really unique environment for us. And so we're now thinking, how can we take some of those same benefits in that same community that we have and further get to know, as co-leads, get to know everyone so that we can fully understand what their career ambitions are, what they would like to see at Microsoft and the industry, and really be the champions that can go on and carry that message. So it's an honor to be a co-lead and to be able to represent this group. But there are a lot of voices within this community. And so it's kind of up to Q and I to kind of get to know and hear those voices and then make sure that we're championing the right things within Xbox and in the industry. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting you bring all that up because I forget what it was like because I've been here for a long time and I'm from New England. Where Q, where are you from?
I'm from Philly.
Oh yeah. My co-host Jeff is a Philly guy as well. So James, what about you?
I'm born in small town Louisiana, and I grew up in North Carolina.
That is amazing, and that's you forget what it's like when you move. I mean, for all of us, we moved all the way across the country to the Northwest. You don't know anybody. You're starting this new job. You're like, what have I gotten into? And it's great to hear that you've got like-minded people that you can kind of lean on and go, where do I get this? Because I remember when I moved out here for the first time, I was the same way. I'm like, my wife wanted her coffee. Granted, it's the Northwest; you get coffee anywhere. But she wanted a couple of things, and it helps to do that. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about your journey and your industry journey, and I'm going to start with you, Q. Tell us about how you got from Philly to Seattle at Microsoft.
Of course. So yeah, I went to school at Howard in DC, so Howard University, and Microsoft recruiters came to campus. I spent my whole professional career at Xbox. I interviewed for an internship when I was a sophomore. And so my first internship was in Xbox, and that for me, full-time. Am I lagging? My video looks frozen.
Yeah, you're lagging a little bit. So you're just telling me, so I'll let you keep going there. But you were telling us about your journey. You've been at Xbox for your entire professional career. That's amazing.
Yeah, my entire professional career started as an intern in 2013. That was the summer before the Xbox One launch. So on the first day of our internship, we got to see the console announced with our team, which was just super awesome. And then we really got to be a part of the whole experience. People were working really hard late at nights, having dinners in the office. And it was really cool to be in that environment. They're in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kept coming back. I came back full time in 2015, and I've been in Xbox this whole time.
And of course, the obvious question: people, what do you do? So what part of the business? Tell folks part of the business that you work on.
Yeah, so I am in the gaming experiences and platform team. So basically, my team is responsible for helps build our consoles. So we ship the different OS releases. We partner with the hardware teams to build those OS releases for the hardware. And yeah, it's really the big project we just worked on was Scarlet launch. So the Xbox Series X consoles. Yeah, it was an amazing time. It was a lot of fun. It was a great team of people to work with.
Yeah, there's nothing like, and since you both have been here, with the launch of the Scarlet, the Xbox Series X and S, there's nothing like a console launch, is there?
It was a great time.
Now, James, tell us about your journey from Louisiana to North Carolina out here to Seattle.
Sure. Yeah. So, I think, again, this small town Louisiana, it was never even a dream of mine to be at Xbox. In Greensboro, I actually was, went through high school, undergrad, all that stuff. And I was a theater major, I was a theater kid. And so I just knew I loved being creative, and I always loved playing video games, but never knew that there were opportunities to have, make it a career. And so honestly, I think I played Heavy Rain and I saw the making of and really something, and this was in my, mid 20s, and something clicked where, hey, there's teams that are actually making this content, and maybe there are ways that I combine some of that creativity from theater with actually, gaming, which is something I loved. And so I said to my wife 3 years, hey, I'd love to take out some loans and go to school to learn how to do some video game production. And to my surprise, she was like, let's go. And then fast forward 10 years, I've been at Microsoft for almost 9 years, and I've worked with people who are really, everyone's like, they're living their dreams. I mean, it's a dream come true. It's just fascinating to be in this industry. And even thinking about, my time at Microsoft and Xbox, just I feel like I've even seen an evolution there. I know when I first came in, it was, again, like, how can I fit in, or how can, we make sure that we're getting the right references or saying the right things. But frankly, there are times where maybe I didn't own every console that everyone else owned, or I didn't play every game. And so there's a tendency of feeling like, maybe I don't fill in, or imposter syndrome if you don't get all the references. And so there's just, this fear, and maybe some of that is, like kind of the code switching, or, hey, how can I try to fit in with this group? And then you see something change over time within Xbox and within, our country in general, which is people feel more free to be themselves. We have this kind of a mantra around bring your best self to work. And it's just been interesting how free people are to actually be themselves. It's okay if you don't get all the references. You probably have other references that you get. So it's like, even within Xbox and my career, I would say I found that, hey, it's been a more inviting place for people who, if you're doing awesome work because you're passionate about it and you're working hard, and just treat people like you want to be treated. It's really been kind of a great place to work. But yeah.
And so what part of the business are you working on now?
So I am in first party BD. So I'm sitting on the business side of things. I have the honor of actually working with some of our first party studios. So we do everything from helping determine what content, we'll put in front of first party. So these are, the future games we'll sign, or even like studio acquisitions, things like that. So essentially we're
so you're
making
the guy that wrote the $7 billion check for Bethesda. No, it wasn't.
I'm not that guy. Not yet. But essentially, it's our team has a hand in helping out with that type of stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting you brought that up, because we talk about, people feel like, when I go out and do events, and I'm sure when you talk to your friends, people are like, oh, I'm not a gamer. And I look at them and I'm like, well, then you're the exact person I want to talk to, because you are a gamer inside. You may not be a hardcore gamer, and that's fine, but let's bring that inner gamer out and talk to you and find out how we can connect. And it's amazing how you can connect with those types of people. I love that. One of the things that we have internally at Microsoft is the Employee Resource Group. Tell us about that, James, and what does it do?
Yeah. So, for our group, I mentioned, hey, we've been, around for about 5 years, and it's kind of evolved again from doing things to just build a community to now we're actually like, hey, what are some of the other things that we can do, internally as well as externally? And so internally, when we look at, some of the goals that Satya has laid out around diversity and inclusion, and we're thinking of, hey, within the Black community within Xbox, hey, what are the things that we can do to ensure that our members are getting career opportunities, they're getting proper trainings and things like that. There's this idea that maybe opportunities are things that are given on golf courses or over a beer and so in that kind of thing. And so we're just like, hey, can we create opportunities within our community? And so right now we have a series that we've started this year, which is essentially offering opportunities for some of our more senior members of the Black community within Xbox to come and give career profiles. So, hey, here's how I got to this role. Here's what this role is about. And so it's really an opportunity for other members to learn and to grow and to explore other opportunities. And so that's kind of one of the ideas of things that we do for internal people within Xbox. And then externally, we really look to support organizations like Game Devs of Color and Game Heads down in Oakland, and community and partnerships with Big. And so it's really around how can we network with other people in gaming, but also how can we look out for the next generation of young people who are making games now to make sure that they feel included and they have opportunities to actually continue to make those games and hopefully, bring them to Xbox or other platforms, but essentially just make it into the industry.
Yeah, that's so great to hear, because that's something I've tried to do over the years, and it feels like we're in a new era of that. It's to your point, it's much more inclusive and open. And I mean, you guys were great. I was like, oh, we've got Black History Month coming up. Let me get you guys on. You guys are like, oh, let's do it. And I'm just so glad to have you on. And we're talking about Black History Month. We're in February now. Q, tell me a little bit about what that means to you.
Yeah, I think Black History Month is a great opportunity for reflection, for education, and just general celebration of Black stories. I think it's just a great time to pause and think about, just recognize contributions of Black people. And
She's dropping out a little bit again. Let's wait till she comes back, right, James?
Yeah.
Q, you still with us, there you go. Okay, we got you back now. Sorry.
oh my God, when it is a great opportunity to just great historical figures. I think I'm freezing again. This is terrible.
You're a little bit. You're keep going. We can
I'm
hear you now.
sorry.
Thank you. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying it's a great time to pause and reflect and honor Black people who've made amazing contributions to our country, but also just to various industries. Like, I think we always remember to honor folks like MLK and like Rosa Parks, but, you know, we could stop and, hey, Jerry Lawson is someone who was revolutionary to the games industry. He created the video game cartridge. Like, that's awesome. I think most people don't know that. So I think it's just a great time for us to highlight some of those stories. And working with Xbox, like teams across Xbox this year has been great. Like, we had a lot of activations to kind of highlight some awesome games and organizations doing great work.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because we've got some Black History Month activations going on right now, and I think you may know a few of them. I mean, we've had some sales all month, but there's a lot of content out there that kind of aligns with this. Tell us about some of the stuff, if you would, please, Q.
Yeah, so I can just name a couple because there are a number of them, but two that I thought were really awesome. The store did a lot of work to create a landing page in the store where it basically highlights games by Black creators, games with Black protagonists or primary characters, great like Black media and TV shows, and some organizations doing great work serving Black communities. And I think you're able to donate to some of these organizations through the Microsoft Rewards program, which was really awesome to see.
Yeah.
And another one that I thought was really cool that we got to help plan and work with was the Undead Labs. They did a promotion. They partnered with the NAACP to create a T-shirt for their, I think, We Are Done Dying campaign. And so they partnered with a Black artist, which was super awesome. And they created a custom T-shirt that's available in game as well as for purchase in the Xbox Gear store. So it's in game
and in real life.
Definitely, yeah. But it's for purchase, I think, February 8th to the end of the month. Yeah. And all the proceeds for that T-shirt for the physical copy will go to the NAACP, which is also awesome.
Yeah, so that's, in fact, I tweeted about that earlier this week, and it's a great thing, you know, the in game and the in real life. And then, you know, on the store, as you said earlier, on the Xbox store on your console, you can go through there and check that out. I mean, there's a lot going on there. It's just so good to see this inclusive approach to gaming, and as we said earlier at the top of the interview, that gaming for everyone. When you guys look forward, I mean, you've got regular day jobs of, like we talked about earlier, in the different parts of the world, but there's this kind of this parallel thing as the co-leads. What games are you both, each one of you, excited about? James, we'll start with you. You know, looking forward.
Yeah, it's a good question. So, you know, being in BD, you know, oftentimes we get to see things, you know, pretty early, and so, you know, without, you know, giving
when
a
you
specific...
When you say BD, that's business development. That's the term.
Business development, yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. Our acronyms. But yeah, being in business development, we often get to see things pretty early. And so there's so I would say the thing that I'm most excited about is just seeing all of the new diverse creators who are out there creating content. So I think we're in the same way we look at forms, you know, of media and a lot of the, you know, Black stories that are being told and television and movies and things like that. I think we're seeing more creators start to come to the table in gaming. And so I'm as much as I'm enjoying kind of the current games that are out there, I'm really looking forward to seeing some of these other stories and these diverse perspectives that we haven't seen just yet, and come to games and the type of experiences that they create. So I'm looking forward to that. But also, as a father of a 6-year-old daughter, just, you know, a lot of the, you know, co-op experiences are things that I think are, for me, that I'm looking forward to, because she's like at the beginning of her gaming journey. And so finding the right things for us to connect on has been amazing.
Yeah, when you think about that, when you think about the little ones, about all the opportunities that they have in terms of, games, and then even as careers, because, when I was growing up, there was no thing as a career in video games. I'm sure you guys had the same thing when you're like, I'm going to go into video games. Your family was like, are you sure you want to do that? Right? So but it's now it's like, why, of course you're going to go into video games, right? It's kind of awesome. So that's really great to hear. What about you, Q? What are you looking forward to, and what are you excited about?
Yeah, for specific titles, what I'm probably most excited about is the next Elder Scrolls. I love that series.
There you go.
Like Skyrim has taken so many hours of my life. And the next Breath of the Wild, like I really love RPGs. That's my thing. But I think I'm also just excited for the Game Pass catalog to keep growing because I have a lot of siblings. Most of my siblings are younger than me. I'm the second oldest, and I play games with them all the time. My little sister is old enough now to have a gamer tag, and I've been playing a lot of Minecraft with her. So any of those like free, easy to pick up titles and Game Pass are just great for us. And like it's a way that we stay connected because I'm the only person in my family who's on the West Coast. Everyone else is home in Philly.
You're here.
And so great way for me to keep that sibling relationship going.
Well, it's funny you talked about the RPGs and Oblivion. I'm sure you can't wait until Bethesda's officially part of the company, so you can be emailing Todd Howard and the team all your bug files and all your feature requests, right?
I saw that and I was like, they made this just for me. They're just like, they wanted me to have those titles in Game Pass. That's what that was.
Well, I got to tell you, it's so great to have you guys on the team and working on the cool stuff that you're working on. I mean, it's a great. I mean, for those who don't know, I mean, I've been here a long time, and you guys have been here, a few years each, and it's really a fun place to work, and we love. I get to talk about it, but you guys do all the work in terms of whether it's the business deals or Q, you and your team are working on the dashboard updates, on a regular basis. So on behalf of all the gamers, I want to thank you for all the content you're bringing and all the great cool features and things you're doing for us. So thank you again for that. And more importantly, thank you for coming and talking about gaming for everyone and Black History Month, because there's a lot to learn, and there's a lot of really cool content out there. So anything you want to leave us with, Q? I'll start with you. Any final words?
I'm just super excited about the work that James and I are doing going forward, partnering with teams across Xbox to really continue to invest in Black communities and Black games. And yeah, I'm excited for our journey ahead.
That's great. What about you, James?
Yeah, same. I just want to say thank you again just for the opportunity for us to talk today. And I think, really we're excited to see the direction that the industry is headed, as well as, internally as well as externally. And so it's just to be at this moment in time with Xbox, it's just an amazing honor. So a lot of cool stuff to come.
Thank you very much. Well, I thank you for joining me today again to help educate the audience about some of the cool stuff that you all are working on and kind of the cool programs that we have here. And, I'm hoping that maybe out there, somebody somewhere who's listening to this or watching both of you, maybe they're thinking like, well, wait a minute, I can go work at Microsoft and do some cool stuff and help change the world and make cool gaming experience. So on behalf of everybody on the podcast, thank you very much for joining us, guys. And I would love sometime in the future to have you on again. So the door is always open. Just let me know. One or both of you, will get you both on, and next time, Q, we're gonna get you a hardwired connection there.
Some better internet going, yeah.
All right, thanks, gang.
Awesome. Thank you.
And joining us again, there he is, Jason Ronald. Jason, good to see you. It's time for some platform updates.
Excited to be back, Larry. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. It's been a while since we've had you on, and I know the team took a little bit of time off after the holiday, but they're back in it, and we've got some things to talk about. So let's just jump in and tell us what's new with Xbox One Series XS and Xbox One.
Yeah, as you mentioned, post-launch, the team took a little bit of an extended break, a very well-deserved break, but it was also a really good chance for us to kind of lean back and just listen to the community and listen how people are using the consoles, what they're excited about, areas that we can improve. And as you said, now that the team's back, we're starting to release a series of updates, and we just released an update earlier this week, really addressing some of the feedback from the community. One area that we really focused on was at launch, we had to disable quick resume on some titles in the launch window.
Yeah.
The team's been working really hard to be able to re-enable those titles so that people are getting that great quick resume experience on all the titles that people are playing. And other areas, like we've seen reports of things like controller disconnects as an example. That's another area that the team's really been investing in to make sure that, you're just getting that best-in-class experience on the Xbox Series X and Series S.
Yeah, now that's a great call. And I want to point out that we're talking about, you guys have a build numbering system. This is 210221, the year, 02, the month. And that's now available. And folks should be downloading that on our Xbox Series XS and Xbox One. And it's great to point out that certainly the next gen features like quick resume, the older consoles don't support that. But a lot of these other quality of life things that you've been working on, some of them will go back to the Xbox One generation, correct?
Exactly. And that's the thing is when we say we're listening to the community, it includes everybody, including people on Xbox One, people with an Xbox Series X and S. And that feedback's critically important to us because it really drives our priorities. And we want to make sure that we're really delighting our fans regardless of what device you choose to play on.
Now, I was reading this interesting thing about smart delivery was a huge boom over the holiday. Tell us about it from your side, because you've got an interesting stat that I was hearing you're going to share with us.
Yeah, we're really proud of how people are using the consoles and really enjoying smart delivery. And we've had close to 6 million smart delivery upgrades since launch. And that's just really exciting to see because that means people are jumping in and playing their games, and they're always guaranteed to get that best version of these titles on the device that they're choosing to play on.
Great. That means they own perhaps the game when they bought it on Xbox One, and now they upgraded to their new console, and this game, whatever title is, and there's many, many titles, just upgraded automatically, right? The user didn't have to do anything.
Exactly. And developers are continuing to update and optimize their titles for Xbox Series X and Series S. So whether it's a title that you're currently playing today or it's a title that a developer is going to upgrade in a couple months, you're still going to get that best version as soon as the update's available.
And that's, again, smart delivery. And you can see that if you're browsing through the store on the console or on the web, you can kind of see smart delivery and some of the other cool features that the next gen handles. You talked a moment ago about, looking at fan feedback and fan requests. You've also got some updates coming. I mean, we can't tell you exactly what they are, but I know there's a lot of people hard at work on the Xbox app, right?
Absolutely. And one of the pieces of feedback that we very clearly seen is people are missing features like achievements, as an example, in the Xbox app. Right. So over the coming months, we're going to be updating the Xbox mobile app to add things like achievements. And then other areas that we're really focused on as we think about the console experiences, we've listened to the feedback about improvements to broadcasting, as an example. Another thing is the sharing experience and the quality of things like game DVR. And then I mentioned earlier about enabling quick resume for even more titles since launch. We've also seen the feedback about people want more understanding of how quick resume works and more control over the experience. So these are all areas that are really high priorities for us as we're looking at future updates over the coming months. And you'll be able to start seeing some of these experiences in the Insider Rings really soon.
So yeah, if you want to do that, I can put a link in the notes below about how to sign up for an Insider Ring, and maybe kind of get a look at what Jason and the development team is doing and where we're thinking of going and planning with some of the newer features. I know that there's just so much activity, and the team has come back after this holiday and kind of looked at, we launched consoles, not just one, but 2 consoles, and they're going very, very well, and millions of people are out there playing, but there's so much more work to do. Tell me a little bit about, kind of what's going on in the future. Give us a hint about the look ahead, will you?
Yeah, I mean, as a team, we're just really excited by this initial response from fans all around the world. And, at launch, we say it all the time internally, this is really just the beginning. We've got a lot of really exciting things that are coming down the pipeline over the coming months and over the coming years. we're also partnering really closely with key game developers from all across the industry to really take full advantage of all the next-gen capabilities that we've put in the Xbox Series X and Series S. And we really are excited as we get further into the year and closer to this holiday to start sharing more of the details about what's in development and how you can really take advantage of these next-gen platforms.
Yeah, there's a lot coming. I mean, we can't really say too much. You kind of did there, but I know that that's one of the things that keeps me so excited. I have a console here. It's not this one, but I have another console that's on our take home, and you guys are pushing builds every day to me. Trust me, my bandwidth cap tells me that. But you're pushing the builds all the time, and we're checking these out, and I'm filing bugs, and it's great to have that type of feedback, not internally, but also everybody at home can participate when you're in the insider ring. So it's great to see that. I know that you got a lot of stuff planned, Jason. So again, I say this to you all the time, but I think we're going to have you on again sooner rather than later, right?
Yeah, you should tell Jeff I'm coming after him. I heard he was a little bit afraid of me coming and taking his job, so let him know I'm on my way.
I'm telling you right now, he's just going to say uncle. He's just going to back up slowly. But Jason, it's great talking to you, great chatting with you, and I'll let you get back to work with the team. And again, if folks want to sign up for Insider and get a look up the pipeline, that's the best way to do it, and join us at Xbox Insiders and help us make Xbox continue to make Xbox great. Thanks so much, Jason.
Thanks, Larry.
Thanks so much, JR. You're welcome back here on the show anytime. There's room for both of us. There's room for multiple JRs. And, you're the one who actually gets things done.
Because there's room for JRs, but clearly Jeff doesn't have the beard that's going to box his out. So I don't know what's going on over there.
No. I have better internet than he does. It seems like that's about all I've got on him. And you know what? I just want to thank you, JR. Please, the achievements in the mobile app.
Not yet. Coming soon. Coming soon.
But thank you for listening. I am one of those vocal people, and I'll be very happy to have that back.
Very excited. He also kind of talked a little bit about it, but I guess I can say a little bit. There'll be some enhancement news coming soon. That's all I can say.
All right. Leave it at that. I'm sure we'll be reading that 20 minutes after this podcast goes live.
Who knows? We've got what do you got over there? Do you have some news for me? I don't even know if I have the ticker over here anymore.
Well, yeah, actually I do have some news here from this week. So actually we're coming out of JR talking about things like optimizations. I want to call out Crash Bandicoot 4. That announced this week that Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, will be optimized.
It says
Upstaged by the ticker. Upstaged by the ticker. There we go.
Hey, when is it going to be optimized? On what date?
It's on March 12th. Okay, moving on.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, no additional cost.
Yep.
If you do already have, or you're thinking about Crash Bandicoot 4 on Xbox Series X or S, I better hurry up because the stories are hitting really quickly here. Congratulations to Mojang and Double 11 who make, I think it's Double 11, Minecraft Dungeons. I love Minecraft Dungeons. We actually had a meeting in Minecraft Dungeons. Our team, we gathered 4 of us last Friday.
I wasn't invited to that meeting.
We already had 4 people.
Oh, you already had 4. Okay.
Game.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of stats out here. Let's see. The Arch Illager has been defeated 5,934,000 times. That means 4 million of you who have played the game have not yet beaten the Arch Illager, so please get on it.
Do the math.
Yes, exactly. The Redstone Monstrosities have been defeated 7 million times, however, out of 19 million. So it's about a 1 in 3 chance. So definitely a tough enemy here. So that's pretty awesome. Of course, the game is available on Xbox Game Pass.
Yep.
It's also available on Switch, PS4, Xbox One, Series X, PC, Game Pass. I've played it on at least 3 of those platforms. And they've added a lot of cool stuff, new merchants. So if you had played when it first came out and you're like, what do I do with these emeralds? You kind of got like a random box. Wasn't good enough. Now there are more options of things that you can get with a little bit more control. If you have a particular item that you want to power it up, you can leave it with this blacksmith type character, and you go and you do a couple missions. You come back and your item has been powered up. I love the beam, the energy beam one that absorbs the souls, and then you shoot out this like Cyclops from X-Men level, just sort of like beam. Like if it's cool. I like that one. Anyway, so congrats to the Minecraft team.
Yes.
Yeah. Forza Horizon 4.
Ooh. Now,
A game that I've put in many, many hours on. And if you, for some reason, listen to this podcast and haven't tried it out, it's now available, another option to you on Steam. Actually, that's coming out on March 9th. So we've seen a lot of our games show up on Steam. They seem to do very well. If you looked at the top 10 games for Steam last year, top 15 games for Steam last year, you saw Microsoft Studios or Xbox Studios
quite a bit.
quite all over the place. So who knows, maybe another one here, Forza Horizon 4. I'm just going to say it, the best racing game ever created.
I have a lot of friends of mine who just, again, who have meetings in that game because it's either that or the other one that you and I have been playing a little bit. Did we do it last week, Jeff? Yeah, we did. Did we? Or maybe it was 2 weeks ago. We played Sea of Thieves.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one to have some meetings in, unless you're under attack. It's either super chill or
it's chaos.
Oh my God, our ship is sinking, and where's this gunfire coming from?
Yeah, but, we've got that. By the way, I think I'm working on next week. We're going to get the executive producer from Sea of Thieves on, Joe Neat. We're gonna roll him in here. So stay
very
tuned.
cool. We've been having fun jumping back into that. I saw you were on this last Friday, and I wasn't able to make it because I had stuff going on. But if we're doing it again this Friday, I would love to get in there.
Yeah, we did talk about who we go out with, which is a friend of ours, Ryan Trite. He's doing basically nightly charters, and you have to sign up early because he goes out. He's the captain. He'll tell you what to do.
Grizzled sea man. Yes.
But he'll take you out, and I'll see if I can get Ryan, or he may be booked already, and we'll have to go out by ourselves. We'll do the best we can. It's a 3-hour tour.
That will not go well, because when we went out with him, he was incredibly patient with us.
Yes.
Because if he was with with saltier sea dogs, probably would have had a lot more luck.
He's patient with you and some of our other friends. Doesn't have any patience for me. He gets angry with me because I seem to ask him, what is this again? And because I skipped through the dialogue or something, he gets very angry with me. So he won't even answer me sometimes.
Yeah. Let's see what else this week. Destiny 2, Season of the Chosen has arrived on Xbox. If you play a lot of Destiny, you probably knew that already, but if not, it goes from February 9th up until May 11th. Pretty good sale here. So it's almost Lunar New Year, and which growing up, maybe because of my neighbors or now because of my family, we celebrated Chinese New Year, but Lunar New Year. It's the Year of the Ox coming up, and my kid's a Year of the Ox. Very stubborn. There might be a connection there. So pretty big sale. I'm telling.
I'm not saying anything.
I hope she didn't hear me. She wouldn't disagree. So some pretty big sales here on games like Black Ops Cold War, Yakuza Like a Dragon, Watch Dogs Legion, Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Yes.
Red Dead Redemption 2. A lot more, just a ton more games, and on PC up to 75% off on select games, including games like Sea of Thieves, Forza Horizon 4, Halo: The Master Chief Collection, Age of Empires Definitive Edition 1, 2, and 3.
All right.
So check it out. It's a sale. Even if you're not Year of the Ox, it's still something that you still get the discounts, as it turns out. What year are you? What's your animal?
I have no idea. How do I find this out? Do you want me to go look?
You could look it up.
All right. Well, let's talk.
I'm snake. I'm the year of the snake.
Okay. Let's take a look.
That's probably. Am I a Slytherin? I don't know, but maybe. I recall this at the people of the year.
Guess what, Jeffrey?
Yeah.
We're the same.
You're a snake.
I'm a snake.
You're a snake. It's the snake cast. Look at that. It means that we are 12 years apart.
Right, that's or something
that's
along
why
those.
I get some of your references, but not all of them.
All right.
We're going to start our new podcast in parcel tongue moving forward.
All right.
Just a couple more things. Since it is the middle of the month, I want to remind you,
please,
that Xbox Live Games with Gold, those are when those games switch over in the middle of the month. So on February 16th, look out for Dondara. And also for Lost Planet 2.
Oh, I remember that.
Already, you want to make sure you get Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. And I got to get Resident Evil, the original Resident Evil remake. But you have the whole month for that, all of February, as well as Gears 5. You have all of February. That's for people that have Xbox Live Gold or, of course,
Game Pass Ultimate.
Xbox Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah.
Last game. Maybe this is for me because
Maybe.
I finished.
Maybe.
I finished the medium. Little Nightmares 2 is out this
Oh,
week.
that's right.
Yeah, so
I finished the
this is
first one. I finished the first one. I
Did?
loved it. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's a pretty low price. It's $29.99. Games from Namco Bandai. It's a world of charming horror. Charming?
Is that the
Terrific.
tagline? Is that what it says on the
Yeah.
back of the virtual box?
It does. You
A
know,
world
play
of
as Mark,
charming
a young boy
horror.
trapped in a world that has been distorted by the humming transmission of a distant tower. We will not speculate what kind of tower that is because we do not spread such things on this podcast.
In a world.
In a world. Cool. So that's out by the time you hear this, and that is the news.
It's been a
this
good.
week.
It's been a good week. I mean, it's picking up speed. We got a lot going on here. I'm glad we finally were able to get together this week and do the show. And thank you to all my guests this week. We got actually, I was just looking at the schedule. You and I were going back and forth on some of the interviews. I'm gonna have you doing some of the interviews
Yeah,
in the
look
future.
forward to it.
We're booked through the end of February, like 2 to 3 guests each show. It's crazy. And
Well,
March
what's
is
the platform, Larry?
Well,
they
no.
want to be on this show.
it's because of you, dear listeners and dear viewers, because of your
That's true.
liking and subscribing and the bell and the whole thing that happens over there.
All that stuff. But you know
All
what?
that
We
stuff.
do appreciate it. We
Yeah.
really do. So make sure you leave us that comment. We're seeing most of the comments are on YouTube. That's great. That's where you're comfortable. I will say
Yeah.
thank you for making it. Look, criticism's fine. Constructive criticism. We love it. This is the general rule of thumb when you work in this business is don't read the comments. We read the comments and we really appreciate the comments that you've been leaving on YouTube.
Yeah, in fact, some of the comments were like how my audio was messed up. So I'm like, all right, I got to fix this. So I got an audio engineer to come in here. Jeff's got his microphone. You can't tell, but I actually have my in-ear headphones here. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like Bono or something with these in here.
Is that the most recent reference? That's a Year of the Snake reference right there.
Okay. Okay. Machine Gun Kelly, was that better?
That's a little better.
Okay. Okay. Either way. But yeah, it's we do read the comments. So I brought the audio engineer. I think we fixed the audio issues. We're getting we're just constantly iterating. You know, there's a separate thread that Jeff and I have, that internal thread. I'm gonna jump this. I'm gonna surprise you. We need a show open, so we're gonna have to figure out a show open.
Yes,
I saw that
we need a
email.
Show open.
So I gotta
something interesting.
I need to find a good animator who wants I can hire to do this. So if
you have any ideas, let us know.
Send me your portfolio. Hit me up. Hold on a second. Jeff is this is how you hit us up. Do it again, Jeff.
I was just saying, let us know in the comments or
Right.
there you go. You see our Twitter handles. If you have an idea who should be doing that animation, who should be
Yeah, let me know who should go
putting
after.
together an open, we'd love a new one because it's a little abrupt. We're coming right at you right out of the gate. We need to ease you in.
And by the way, let me be clear. I mean, this is one of the largest podcasts out there. There's no monetization here. This is all free for you, right? I don't.
You don't want to do like an
No.
order for Blue Apron or
No. I mean, I'm
commercial?
just saying like all the ads and all that crap along the bottom of
Larry,
YouTube.
what's for dinner? Dinner again.
Hey, by the way, have you heard about this great new VPN? No.
Actually, we're not sponsored, but we pack in like more, Toto washlet references per
right.
week than any other podcast.
Right, exactly. I am a toilet washlet influencer now. Whatever that
true?
means. I don't know. I told you I had a call with Washlet with Toto and they showed me all their line of new washlets and I was like, wow, either I've done something great or done something horrifically wrong.
If I'm, something of a Yakuza influencer, you're something of a Toto washlet influencer.
Right.
I feel like there's something there. I feel like in one of I think it was in Yakuza Kiwami 2. There was actually a urinal mini game that you could play. So we can bring these things together, Larry. We can do this.
I'm saying we're always going to bring it back to gaming for you, whether it's gamifying that your bathroom trip or something else. We'll try to do our best.
It was called Toilets, TOYLETS.
You remember
God bless
this?
the localization people.
But it works. It absolutely works.
And I am seeing some requests for captioning as well. So people are looking for that.
Yeah, I thought I turned captioning on. So just so you know, over at my blog at majornelson.com/podcast, that's where it is. And there's actually a full textual transcript. So if you just want to read it or search and what have you, then that usually goes up the day of or the day after the whole show post. But I thought I turned on captions, so I got to go figure out why they're not showing up.
Full credit to the person who says that I'm really funny. It was.
Are you reading?
Reading them right now. They were really far. That one was really far down. So, but it's fine. It's fine.
All right. Yeah.
I give it a thumbs up.
Okay. Thank you. I will do the same as well. All right, Jeff. We'll be back next week. We got a lot more interviews next week. I want to thank Jason and everybody for joining us on the show this week. Q and James. It was great to hear from them as well, and all the great work that they're working on. So thank you, gang. And Jeff, you have something you'd like to say.
I just want to add one more plug. So for the next 2 weeks, as part of our celebration of Black History Month, we're going to be having a number of awesome Black streamers from the community.
Oh yeah,
broadcasting on Twitch.tv/Xbox. So keep an eye out. We're going to be tweeting out the calendar at the beginning of next week.
I'll retweet that. I'll retweet
on
that.
Twitter.com. Yeah, that'd be great. I appreciate it. I'll be doing the same. And some really good folks that we know personally that we wanted to basically introduce to you.
Can we get them on?
So,
can we get them on the show?
Love.
This show.
You know what? I think we could probably set something up. So,
if they can squeeze it in.
Let's work on that. That'd be great.
Was that your house? Did someone just go by with a muffler off?
Somebody drove by. Yeah, somebody with an exhaust system went by. Whatever. I live in the city. Like
That's
you
right.
You hear all kinds of noises. That's the least of my concerns.
Yeah, it's funny as Jeff and I were talking. We're recording this right now, and it's sunny in Seattle, which is so bizarre because the sun's going down now. I had to close everything here to put the studio lights on, but it looks like the sun's going down. So Jeff, you and I need to. Usually we record this right before lunch, but we're recording it at the end of the day.
I already ate, so we're just going and going and going. We're trying. All right, we got to cut this off.
Gotta go. I'm hungry. My stomach is growling. But anyway, yeah, as Jeff said, please like, subscribe, leave the comments. More importantly, the comments and all that. That's really what we need, your help in making your show. This is your show. Better, the Xbox Podcast. So Jeff, final words, and then we're gonna fade to black.
I just want to say thank you so much. We can't do it without you. So please let us know what you want, what you need. We're here for you.
See you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.